Hello, this is Leo Kormanik with Running Rehab, and today I'm going to talk about how to use a trampoline, a simple mini trampoline like this, to become a faster runner, a better runner, and be less injury prone. So basically, just a simple little mini trampoline like this is fine. Obviously, if you have a bigger one, you can do some of these exercises as well, but a mini one is fine. This one we got off Amazon, not tied to any particular brand or anything, but basically it costs about $100. And you want one that's a little bit higher quality that can handle and have some decent bounce to it. Basically, a lot of these exercises you're going to do are going to need a little bit of better balance and sturdiness to the trampoline. But the basic idea is that when you land on the trampoline, what you're doing is it's going to mimic like landing with running. When you run, you're essentially jumping from one foot to the next. That's essentially running. And when you land with about a 10 to 15 degree knee bend at most, but really not even really that deep. You really only go about 5 to 10 degrees of knee bend. So you don't need like a deep knee bend to actually build the tendons around the knee, like the IT band, the patella, the quad, or the tendons around the ankle, the big guy like the Achilles and peroneals and stuff like that. So, but when you land with running, you get that slight eccentric loading, which is lengthening under tension. And then you get a concentric contraction, which is shortening of the muscle under tension, and that pushes you off. But basically the reason I'm bringing this up is, if there's one thing that we know about running, is that it builds tendons big time. So to become a better runner, essentially what you're doing is you're building the size of your Achilles tendon, the size of your IT bands and patella tendon, just to make you a stronger runner. So theoretically, to be a better runner, you would want to build that tendon more. And using a trampoline is a great way to do it. And not beat yourself up running-wise. Obviously, training running-wise is important, but you can supplement a lot of the workload with the trampoline. So I would advise doing this for anybody that has any tendon issues, typically like in the Achilles or IT bands or knees. This is a great tool to strengthen those guys, because the eccentric loading of the bouncing will mimic running and accelerate the building of those tissues. So again, it's going to be what building up the tendons is what we're after. So typically when I have people start, I'll have them start roughly at about 5 minutes a day. There probably comes a point where there's a point of diminished return here. I mean, I think at best I might do a couple rounds of like 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening kind of thing to build the tendons up. And usually I like to do this maybe as a warm-up before my run, but definitely after the run I think is a little bit better option. So it really is just as simple as just bouncing. Now there's a couple different ways that we can sort of manipulate the leverage here to sort of work different tissues. We can do like quicker bouncing, like this, where we do really short kind of hops and accentuate what's happening down through the calf Achilles complex. And so doing a minute straight of like a short, exaggerated ankle pop here where my knees are locked and I'm just popping the ankle, will really build the Achilles. You can immediately feel these muscles contracting like a ton right away. Usually what I like to do is I'll kind of go through a little bit of that where I isolate sort of the ankle here. And then once that's burned out after a minute or so, then I'll just kind of go to regular bouncing to just break that up. Then you could even go into like explosive, like more of a higher bounce here. And then what I like to do as well is even burning out single leg stance. So here, usually I like to pick on my left leg a little bit more because it's the weaker leg. So my right leg is the dominant leg. So you kind of want to maybe spend a little bit more time single leg stance on the weaker leg. And here I'm just going to bounce on it. And you'll feel even just holding it for like a minute or two, your glute contract and your Achilles and the muscles around your knees just getting really, really strong. But again, if you see, when we're running, we're landing, that's sort of mimicking that motion of compression and then push off, because we're really only getting a little bit of knee bend here on the trampoline. So it's pretty awesome. But then you can get kind of fancy with it. You can go like single leg stance with rotation, just to kind of build the ankle stability. So say you were prone to spraining your ankles, that's good. So just adding in some rotation with that. And then even just like kind of side to side movements, dealing with a little bit of agility. So just kind of doing like a star movement on the trampoline is cool. But one of my favorite things to do is I always like to do this at some point where I create like a power move, like big piston moves. And then just really just training like that heavy explosive pushing in to the ground. So again, lots of different ways to use the trampoline, and you can see it's a workout. Like if you have an iWatch, it'll almost immediately like ask you if you want to start the run because it thinks you're running, because it really is a good workout. But so like I said, you can start like 5 minutes a day and just slowly work your way up from there.